All right, so check this out. If your agency did this, you would be 10 times better. If a beginner agency did this, they'd be like 1,000 times better. I want to share with you the thing that you can implement in your agency to create more consistent lead flow, something that's a machine that kicks out leads again and again. So in order to understand this idea, I want to talk to you about a concept that I like to call the lake. Okay, so the lake is everyone inside of your business that is a client, their prospective customers, their people that you proposed to in the past, their business contacts, their strategic alliances. It's the contact information of anybody that you're either currently doing business with or could be doing business with. Now, this is something that should live in a CRM, and a lot of agencies don't do that. So if you don't have a CRM, number one, get one. Place to keep all of your contacts so you can actually reach out to these people. Now, how do you get people in this lake? Now, one of the biggest lakes out there is called Lake Zuckerberg, right? Facebook's lake. And we can fish inside of Facebook and get people out of there through like paid ads or through organic posting to get people in here, right? We can also use Instagram, right? There's lots of online places where we can fish, YouTube, to get people into our lake, right? How do we get them to be from anonymous person that's out there in the world to that's someone that's actually in our CRM, right? But there's also like real live places you can go find clients, right? Like networking, right? Networking, BNI, chambers of commerce, right? All that stuff. When we target people inside of Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or these places, it costs us time and money to reach these people, right? But once they make their way into our lake, we can contact them as many times as we want. So when we think about paid ads rising or becoming more difficult, or our ability to target people in these different areas changing, right? Especially during the pandemic, during that time where networking and BNIs and those chambers shut down, right? We couldn't go do that. But if they were already in our lake, we could reach them, right? So the question is, with a lake being built, what do we do next? Okay, what we want to do is we need to nurture these people here, right? So these people, just because in their lake doesn't necessarily mean they know who we are. Doesn't mean that they're ready to do business with us. It'd be great if they're like, hey, I'm in your lake now. Can you please sell me a website? Can you do Facebook ads for me, right? That'd be amazing. But we need ultimately to teach them and educate them and brand ourselves as people that can help them, right? So what we want to do here is we want to nurture them by having conversations with them and educating them about what we do. So when it comes to nurture content, there's basically 4 categories. This comes from a guy named Brett Knudsen, who's amazing, and I learned this from him. And then there's one that I add on top of his, right? So there's 4 categories that he talks about. One is the origin story. Where did you come from? How did you get, to where you are right now? What's your background in business, right? Number 2 is what he calls your come up. So how did you learn or earn the ability to do what you do now, right? Like, where did you cut your teeth? How did you figure out, how did you become so awesome, right? Number 3 is, what do you do now, right? Are you an agency owner? Who do you help? Do you help chiropractors, dentists, local businesses? What is that story, right? Talking about that. Number 4 is something that humanizes you, right? So you're not just some robot doing digital marketing, right? You're a human behind this business. What is something you can share that makes you more than just a business, right? So these are the 4 that Brett talks about, right? And the 5th one, I would say, when it comes to nurture, is the offer. So what can you say to them to make them an offer, right? How do we actually share these stories? Well, the obvious one is email. So we email them about our origin story. We tell them about how we came up in the business or what we did before this business that put us in a great position to help them now. We talk to them about our business and what we do now. We educate them about the things that we do. We talk to them about our experience, and we tell them about our kids and about our background, to let them know that we're a human, right? And then we make them offers to work with us. Okay, so we can do that by email, right? We could do that by like SMS. We can do that with retargeting ads on Facebook, telling those stories. We can do that with social media, posts inside of Instagram and Reels. We can do TikTok. We can do YouTube, right? Like these are all the different ways we can, talk to our lake about these things through these channels, right? This is where most agencies mess up because it's way easier. Here's what they're actually doing. They are getting people to come into their lake here, right? And then they're hoping, praying that somebody's just going to pop up and give them money, right? And can you imagine there's got to be an awful lot of people coming into this lake in order for this to happen, right? Right off the bat, without any nurture. Agencies that run on hot leads and referrals, that's what's happening. They're coming into the lake and they're moving straight into a project, right? But I think you and I could both agree that the world, while there's hot leads out there, there's way, way, way more colder ones. And Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all these other channels is a source, an amazing source of cold leads. And if we want to have as many hot buyers as we could ever want, we have to take these cold leads and we have to use our nurture system to actually warm them up, all right? And so the key here is that once they're in their lake, we need to talk to them and give them stories about, what our origin story, our come up, what we do now, what makes us human, and we ultimately need to make them offers to do business with us. So this is the thing that most agencies are missing out on. And if they were just to deploy this simple thing into their business, everything would change.